What is going on, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm your host, Steve Holmes, and you guys are watching another episode of The Real. Thank you all for joining me. Excited to be here tonight. Excited because we've got the students in studio, not really in studio, but you know what I mean, to come and chat with us. And I'm really excited to get them locked in and just kind of see see what's going on the campus. And I think this actually is probably our most important show. I know we've talked to quite a few people over the last few weeks. We've had John Crossman. We've had who is the presidential search committee chair. We've had Mr. Wells last week. I'll touch on that in a second. We've had AD Theus, Reggie Theus. And so yeah, it's things have picked up, man, and it's just been incredible kind of to see the growth real time with the show. And you guys have just continued to help me kind of defy the odds of what I thought this show could be. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Let's see what we got. So yeah, coming up in a few minutes, we've got Sagal Buchannan. She is the BCU SGA President-Elect. So that basically means she was just elected to the position, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, and she hasn't. I don't think she's taken office yet. I think that this is for next year, but it'll be great to talk with her. Cayden Anglin, who is looks like a little mayor of Bethune-Cookman. Kid is everywhere. Every time I cut my Instagram on, he's doing something with some group with somebody's, so this is a great young man. And then Benjamin McDonald, Mr. Freshman. And so you guys may remember him. He was one of the young men that was letting his voice be heard during the student stand-in earlier this year. So yeah, we've got that coming up, and I'm really, really, really excited about it. And so before we jump into that, as always, I know I got to do my things. We got the real MVPs for April: Adrian, Wanda, Jason, Theron, Gerard, Kathy, and Will. I thank you all so much. It really does. I explain it every week, but I'll keep explaining it. It takes a little time. It takes a little of resources to kind of pull this thing together every week. So please, no amount is too small. Obviously, no amount is too big. But we're trying to grow. And I think we are finally starting to see some growth in a lot of areas. I can't do that without you all being able to tune in and watch the show and also contribute. And so it's a really big deal, again, for you all to be able to go on this journey with me. And so this is one way you guys can help me. So I'm always, 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 always so thankful to, again, Adrian Y, Wanda, that's Mama Todd, y'all, Jason, Theron, Gerard, Kathy, and Will. That's my buddy, Willie J. Listen, I thank y'all, man. I really, really, really appreciate y'all. So yeah, it's been a kind of a cool last week. I think after last week's show, we took quite a bump, and things. Listen, y'all have just been amazing. This will take us right to our social. Excuse me. And so this is a clip, one of the clips of Mr. Wells and our discussion last week. And I want to take a second to kind of talk about this, because number one, y'all showed out supporting this last week, and commenting and sharing and liking and watching it and viewing it. Y'all showed out. So let me say this. When I first started this, I think my biggest the most amount of views I think I had on any video, like when I first started, was probably like, you know, 700, 800. So I was really happy, every time I would, hit a new milestone or whatever. So like the first one was like 600, 700, not likes, excuse me, views on like the reels and things that I were doing like late last year. And so it just kept growing. And I had, it went from 300 views to 800 views. And then I hit 1,000. I'm just like, man, 1,000 people watch this. And that's peanuts to some of these other big influencer. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, given the size of Bethune-Cookman, given the, our brand and stuff, is like 1,000 people viewing anything for us is amazing, right? So I keep going. And the next largest viewed video I had was, I believe it was an ad read video, and that one got like 7,000. And then the next one was another, I think, shortcuts on the ad was like 9,000. And then I hit a 10,000. Y'all, this Wells, all the content together, it's about 50,000 views. Like, what? 50,000 views. So, man, big ups to y'all. I had 12, 1,300 comments, a bunch of shares. I just sometimes am taken aback that you all have really turned up. Y'all in the comments, y'all awful quiet today. But anyways, I'm thankful for that. And so I just think it goes to show you that what we're doing is really, really, really important, and that people want to hear from the people who matter. And again, like, I'm just an alumni, and I'm doing something that I feel can help push the school forward, something that I feel can help the school be looked at in a more positive light. And yeah, I get it. We got to go through and we got to talk about some of the rough things and some of the, some of the dirty laundries. Like we got to hit it. But I am, again, elated that you all continue to support this thing. So I got a little bit of a small announcement. If you guys remember, and this is my last thing before we get the students on. I told them about 8:10 or so. So we'll wait until they join us. But the special announcement. If you guys remember when we first started, if for my OGs, we used to be Wildcat Warehouse. That was what we started in the very beginning, and we were just doing T-shirts. And so what prompted me to pivot from T-shirts to a more media-centric platform was because I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to do more than just sell stuff to y'all. I'm like, there will be a time to do that and to have, merch and BCU merch and all that stuff. I said, but right now the school needs help. It doesn't need people like me leeching off of it, trying to get money from students and alumni for T-shirts. That's how I felt at that particular time. And so I backed off selling T-shirts. Now, our store is still up. If you go to theavbcu.com, we still have a store. We still have all the shirts that you guys like and bought, the Cookman shirts, the classic tees and the hoodies. All that stuff is still there. But we've been working on a little bit of a project with a company called Rated HBCU. And I'd like to present to you all one of our newest drops. And I may need to put this in the chat, but actually I'm going to do that. Give me 1 second. Let me get the link, and I'm going to drop this. But this is our love tee, and this is a fully licensed T-shirt. It's branded. I went through the proper process to make sure that we could use the logo. So I actually am licensed to do this. So I know some people were getting in trouble about using the school's image and likeness without We got our first student on, so we'll wait to get the other two. But we didn't want to get in trouble, so that was another reason why we pulled back on our sales and those things. And it's basically on sale now at Rated HBCU. It's not on our site yet. It will be. I actually have on the hoodie right now. The hoodie's not on sale yet. The hoodie will be available in the fall. So if you guys want to cop one of these tees, all the proceeds obviously will go back to the AB. But then the beautiful thing, when it's licensed and you do things right, the school gets a cut too. So you'll be supporting two great causes, the school and the AV. And yeah, if you guys would, I think I put the link in the comments, and I'll start pubbing this on our sites and all those things. So yeah, all right, let's get to it. I think we've got one of our students in, and we've got, let's see, we've got Sagal. I see you there. And I'm gonna wait because I want to make sure we get everybody. There we go. We got one more. Y'all give me a second. I'm just getting the students set up. And as soon as we got them all in there, we'll get right to it. Thank you all for being patient with me. And we're waiting on the other young man, Benjamin. I guess I probably should have told y'all to just come on at 8, and then we could have just had y'all on, but that's my bad. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
There we go.
Uh-oh, Sagal,
Yes.
let me adjust you real quick. Give me 1 second. All right. So we've got the other Benjamin. Are you in there? Oh, there you go. All right. All right. How y'all doing, man?
Pretty good, and you?
I'm doing
Well, how
good.
are
I'm doing
you?
good. I'm well.
Pretty
Thank y'all for
good.
joining me, man. I was nervous. This is my first time having 4 people on, so yeah, it works, and we're doing our thing, so that's great. Um, thank y'all for joining me. I think you guys are really respected by a lot of the alumni. And we know that you all have had a go of it, especially the seniors and juniors. You've been going at this for a little bit. And I just want you to know, before we get into this, everybody that is watching this, they love y'all. And because you guys will be joining our, you will be on our side at some point, and you will be an alumni much longer than you are a student. And I think when you get on this side of it, sometimes you have different views, and you see things a little bit differently. Your life experience and all those things will have you see things in a different light. And so I'm really proud of y'all. I love how y'all stand up for yourselves. And I'm so happy to have y'all here tonight. So let's just go through it. Sagal, can you tell us a little bit about yourself in the Bethune-Cookman capacity? I know you just got elected to the SGA presidency, so talk to us.
When a woman is determined, what can stop her? Greetings. I am Sagal Buchannan, a rising senior political science scholar on a pre-law track, and I attend the illustrious Bethune-Cookman University. A little bit about me. I am the newly elected SGA president for the 2025-2026 academic year. I started my leadership on campus my freshman year, second semester, and I can truly say that from that moment on, it has been such a transformative journey. It has truly molded me into the young woman I am today and who I'm becoming, and for that, I can constantly be grateful to our founder and just everything that I have grown to learn and love about my university, it's things that I will forever cherish with me for years to come.
That's great. I love it. I love your intro. Listen, listen, y'all. Listen, these kids are sharp, y'all. I need y'all to understand. Our kids are sharp. My man, Cayden. Listen, let me tell you something about Cayden. Every time I turn on my Instagram, Cayden is talking with somebody about something on campus. This is what student activism looks like. This is one of the people that you want to have on your campus, making sure you got good kids doing what they got to do. Cayden, talk to us, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Let me back my camera up. Oh, is my connection good?
It's good. You okay? Yep.
Okay. 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 Let me back up some more because it looks like I'm a little close.
It might be
Okay.
because you got your phone tall ways, but that's okay. We got you.
Oh.
Yo. While we wait on Ben, excuse me, while we wait on Cayden, Ben, talk to us, man. How you doing? This is y'all. This is Mr. Freshman. This is new kid on the block, kinda. You're not really new no more. You've been around
Right.
the block for almost a full year now. So tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to your audience and your alumni. They want to hear from you.
Of course, the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work for them. Michelle Obama. Greetings, all. I am Benjamin McDonald, a freshman majoring in political science, hailing from the city of Sandy Beaches, West Florida. This year, I did serve as Mr. Freshman. Now, next year, I'll have the opportunity to serve on the Student Government Association as Sagal's executive secretary. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Good, good.
A little about me.
That's all right. Hey, what was your major again?
Political science.
Political science. So you okay? Okay. So that's why you were so active during the student time,
Definitely.
because you get it. You get it.
Right up there in the top.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, Cayden, how you doing, man?
Okay. I'm back.
All right, we got you.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. Leadership is not symbolized by an individual's title, but solely measured upon the actions that they commit, the values that they embody, and the attributes that they emulate. Greetings, all. I am Cayden Zachary Rain Anglin, a rising junior majoring in political science, hailing from the heart of Florida, Haines City, located in Polk County. And a quick backstory on me. As I said, I'm a sophomore, majoring in political science, and so when I came to BCU, I had the intention on, participating in SGA because that's what I did in high school, and so I did it. I stepped out on faith, and I ran for freshman class president. I secured my win. Sadly, it didn't go all of the semester. But one thing I know for a fact is that God does things for a certain purpose and reason. And so, although I was only freshman class president for one semester, that opened doors for me to be able to be, as you said, the unofficial mayor of BCU, and go and spread my social wings and leadership roles in different avenues and areas.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you'll learn things happen for a reason, and
Yeah.
when you are confronted with, and I don't know the reason, and that could be between you and whatever it is, but you met with adversity, and the secret is not the adversity itself and trying to like dodge it. It's like how do you overcome those struggles and things. So that's good. And speaking of struggles, again, you all have been through quite a time. Sagal, what prompted you to run for SGA president? And was that a direct result of what you had been seeing on campus, or are you just naturally inclined for leadership, or both?
I would say both. I was very active in student government in high school. I was very active in student government in high school. I was that student where class, soccer, extracurricular. So I always kept myself involved. When I got to Bethune-Cookman, I got involved in student government my sophomore year. I was the executive treasurer. And the reason I got into student government was because I saw the need that was at need. Since I've been at Cookman for 3 years, we've seen three protests now, and I can say that I participated in all three because I know the fight that I'm fighting for. Um, The reason I got into SGA, it's been a long time coming. It was something where people wanted me to do it last year, people wanted me to do it the year before, but I knew I wasn't ready for it, mentally and just emotionally. It wasn't something that I wanted to place myself into. I took the summer to get back on track and say, okay, what is it that I envision for my university? We pay money to be here. We love our institution. We know the need. We see the need. What can I do as a student leader to be that change? And I used my whole entire summer break, Christmas break to plan my campaign and just make sure that I was going into it for the right reason. I always say it's purpose over power. A lot of the times people will get into these leadership positions because of the titles, because of the accolades, and because of the benefits that come with being a student leader. And then it's like real pumped when the beginning of the semester starts, and then there's the ultimate decline because the reason why you started wasn't for the right reason. So I can definitely say that it was a mix of both me seeing the need and just me being a leader in general.
That makes sense, and you are absolutely right. Oftentimes, people get into leadership positions not to serve, but they're, to have power, to have influence, and those things come if you're a good leader. Like you don't have to go in there and try to attain those things or try to take it. To whom much is given, much is required, and so I think it's important that you keep that mindset and you keep that framing, even upon leaving Bethune-Cookman, uh, because it really is easy to get in that position where you just want to boss people around and you just want to do it. You want to do it, just to say, "Hey, look at me." Benjamin, I think you and I have talked a few times. I think we met at homecoming. Correct? Was that the first time I
Yeah.
met you? You said Florida Classic.
Yes, Florida Classic.
You sure? I think we met at homecoming. I met you at homecoming. We were at the pep rally,
Okay.
and I
Yep.
feel
Yep.
like I
Pepper.
bought y'all like some snacks, whatever. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So and again, I didn't realize at the time I had just met y'all. I had just met a lot of the royal court, and we were talking, and we were just kind of kicking it. And I didn't realize that you were such a voice so early. Normally, you don't see that from freshmen, but you were kind of on the front lines during the protests. Tell me why that was, and how did you end up being in the front?
Well, I'm a very vocal individual, right? So when I feel something, I voice it. My opinion, I'm very opinionated, so I just like to get that across whenever it needs to be across. Now, what prompted me to actually engage in the protest and to be front and center was because there was a need. The student body, especially the freshman class, we were all new to this institution, and it was important that I was there representing them, and not only representing them, but representing the entire student body, right? Um, just being a voice for them, being someone present where the action was being taken was necessary.
Yeah, and I understand that. I think, um, again, I will not be one to criticize any of the actions that happen on campus. And I don't want to dwell on it because the past is the past now. Um, Cayden, how do you feel about the aftermath of the change in leadership and the protests? How are you feeling today versus how you felt back in January?
Okay, okay, thank you for the question. So personally, at the beginning of the oh, boy, let me back this phone up. Okay, so initially at the beginning of the protest, I truly felt like um I was shocked because that was my first initial, like, okay, this is something serious type of event that's happened at Cookman. I've never participated in a student protest. I've never felt that type of environment,
Hmm.
especially as a student leader. A lot of people are asking questions and wanting to know what's going on, so you have to know that you're giving the right information, at least that you think you're giving the right information. And so it's a lot going on. And initially, I felt kind of betrayed, from the Board of Trustees, because again, initially, the whole purpose of the protest was because of the fact that there was a lack of transparency coming from the Board of Trustees. We weren't being told things that we felt as if, as students, we should be. And now I do see that there's some mending that's being done. For example, with John Crossman, he's stating that he wants to make this whole presidential search as transparent as possible. And so my only hope is that they continue with the transparency well after the president is being solidified. That's something that students should be given, alumni should be given, the community should be given, period, is transparency, because we don't know what happens behind closed doors.
Right.
So it's up to the leaders to give, the information to us that they see fit, but not only that, that we need to know, so we know how we can manage and continue to prosper.
Definitely. Sagal, could you kind of share your thoughts on that same question? Like, how do you feel about, again, what happened? And then how do you, I guess, reconcile that with how you feel right now in terms of just sentiment? And I know you probably, being that are you a senior or a junior?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, so you've got a little bit more of a clearer view, just purely because of experience of the general sentiment on campus. Obviously, if you're SGA president, that means you know a lot of people. A lot of people know you. What are your thoughts? How do you think students are feeling today versus January?
I can definitely say that the protests ended very abruptly. I think that there are still a lot of unanswered questions to this day that I myself would like to have them answered. I do believe that the student body, they're tired. I'm tired. As a student leader, it's a lot. We endure a lot on a daily basis, and I don't think that we endure things that we shouldn't have to. I don't know how to word this to say, I think that the first thing that needs to be brought to light is the sense of trust and transparency. The students don't have any trust in the administration. They don't have trust in the board of trustees. And it's sad because that should not be the case. We should be
Right.
able to be on our campus and know that our education, our livelihood as young Black scholars in the hands of the right people. I've been in student leadership for going on 3 years now, and I can tell you that there is a huge disconnect between the level of trust and accountability that the students have for the students for administration. And it's something that the bridge needs to be, yeah, it needs to be fulfilled at some point.
Yeah, that is really fair. And I'd imagine there are alumni that are watching this or will watch. A lot of people come back and watch this on the backside. But that number one, they feel, my heart hurts to hear you say that there's a lot of things that you guys don't trust about the administration. You said at the top of your last statement that there were some questions that you still wanted answers to, or you're still looking for answers for. Would you mind sharing any of those, or is there anything? Because here's why we're here, is to help you all navigate, and so that you guys don't have to, as students, suffer alone. Like, we're here to help you. This platform is for situations just like this, so we can figure out what's going on campus, and then amplify the issues so that we can get the right people in place to help you all and help the institution. So if there's some unanswered questions, I mean, let's see if we can find the answers, right? So what do you have, or what are you still lost about, that you guys just want to know what the deal is?
I remember vividly, actually, during the protest, one of the questions that I asked, and it was kind of like shot down in a sense. I had asked, so to this day, we don't have a permanent president. So, what is it that the Board of Trustees are looking for in candidates that, they deemed fit as a permanent president? And in that moment, my question was never answered. And it was more so like a deflect on, okay, instead of you asking us what we're looking for, here is just a condensed, almost like rehearsed response of what I'm going to tell you. And I think that's what we were given a lot of during that protest, was a lot of just one-sided responses that
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any weight behind it.
Uh,
And I do
Go ahead. Go finish.
I was going to say, one thing I can say is, looking back, there may have been ways where we could have approached our questions differently, but I still do strongly believe that a lot of the questions that were proposed during that Board of Trustee meeting they were shot down, or they just weren't answered in the fulfillment as they should have been.
So here's a question: Have any of you did any of you participate in the listening sessions? Did you go and attend those?
Yes, we
And
did.
if you
Yes.
did those help ease any of your concerns about the search, or how did it play? And I'll let Benjamin, you go ahead. You can take that one. How did the listening sessions play in your eyes?
So personally, I was at listening session, but I wasn't there the entire time.
Okay.
But for what I did hear and what I was there for, um, I'm not gonna say it settles my mind, because it doesn't. I still have major concerns, being that I am gonna be here the next 4 years. The
Right.
next 3 years, I'm gonna be the student in this seat every single day for the remainder of my time here. So I just want to ensure that whatever president in which they bring in, or whomever they bring in to lead the university, has the best interest of the students, the alumni, and the community members, not just themselves or the board of trustees, but the entire body of our campus. Because at the end of the day, you can't have a university without the students, and that's where we have to understand.
Yeah, Cayden, your thoughts? Same question.
So, yes, I've been or I have attended the listening sessions, and like I said, I do believe that John Crossman, the committee chair, is really trying to bridge that gap that we have with a lack of transparency.
Yep.
And now that we have a full new committee and a new firm that's going to be, assisting in finding the right candidate to be president, I just, like I said, I just wish that they continue to be as transparent as they say they want to be. Especially in this, I feel like transparency for this entire thing is going to be probably one of the most important things. That way, alumni know that their institution, even though they're not here anymore, is left in good hands for the current students.
Yeah.
And that when we leave, that we know, okay, we're leaving. The president's great. The board of trustees is trying to mend those broken bridges that have been, created over a time period,
Hmm.
and that they just again continue that increase in transparency and um, advocacy and flexibility for students.
Understandable. Sagal, were you on the share, or did you attend those as well, or you have any thoughts?
Yes, I did attend them. I
Okay.
was front and center with our current SGA president, Eternity Bradshaw.
Hmm.
Like Caden said, I do truly believe that John Crossman, he is doing his very best to bridge that gap. There was a very big gap between the student body and the board of trustees during that whole protest situation, and I can see that he is making those efforts to say, at the end of the day, like Benjamin said, there is no you without us.
Yeah.
There is no institution without students, present students, alumni, and students that are going to follow us. So one thing I can say is, the listening sessions, they didn't 100% ease my concerns, but I do know that there is progress that's going to be made.
Definitely, and I think that is probably the one thing I would say to you all is to just to continue to just keep the faith, right? This is going to be a long, long, long journey to get things back in order. The good news is they've got an expedited presidential search, so we should have a new president before the end of the year. So they say, and I do agree with you on John Crossman. He's been a bit of a breath of fresh air because, no disrespect to Belvin Perry, so a lot of the transparency issues that we had, well, they were while he was the chair. And he's been the chair, I think, for the last several years. And while he's done some good things, all the issues you have or are having were under his leadership. And you can already see with a Pete Gamble and Jeff Branch and John Crossman at the helm, they're at least out front a little bit more than they have been. And so we gotta take the good with whatever else is there. And I think you all continue to like just you know just keep your ears to the ground, because at the same time we also are relying on you all, the students, to help us make sense of what's happening on the campus. We're not there. I'm all the way up in Atlanta, so I have to continuously call and check in and talk to people to figure out what's happening. But you guys are right there, so if things are happening, um, you know, let us know. You know what I'm saying? Let us know. What is one thing, if you could change right now? Um, if you had given all the power, what's one thing you could change on the campus of Bethune-Cookman? Uh, I'll let you go first, Sagal.
If I had the power to change one thing on this campus, it would definitely be campus culture.
Mm-hmm.
Although we are a small HBCU, there is so much potential within this student body. And I think sometimes, not even sometimes, the energy of just the students is lack. I'm not even afraid to say it. This past election, so many positions were ran unopposed. And it's like you have to stop and think and ask. You have to ask the hard questions like, why is this? Why
Mm-hmm.
is it that students don't want to run for the next Miss Bethune Cookman University? Why is that students don't want to run for the next Mr. BCU? I ran unopposed. My vice president ran opposed. So it's like the students they're disconnected. They're unaware of opportunities that are happening on campus,
Mm-hmm.
programming. Just better campus culture needs to be present. Our student body is so bright. I talk to students on a day-to-day basis, and it's like they are participating in initiatives and activities that you wouldn't even know of. So it's like, when are we going to stop and say, okay, is the disconnect on the student side or is it on student life? When are we going to start asking the hard questions? Like at some point, we have to start asking real, relevant, and raw questions. Why is it that the students don't want to participate in student government initiatives? Why is it only that when it's time for SAB to be on site, that's when campus involvement is at its all-time high? Campus
Right.
involvement should be high day in and day out. The quad should be packed day in and day out. So I think that's one of the things that if I had the power to change, which in some way, shape, or form I do have the power to change,
Right.
it would definitely be to have students be uplifted and be able to lead and just follow in the legacy that our founder left for us.
Gotcha. All right, Cayden, let's go ahead and if you could change one thing, what you got?
Okay, so Skull kind of took it from me, but really, what I would do is I would expedite all of the infrastructure on campus. So I know that they're fixing up the academic multiplex. I'm not really sure what exactly that is, but they're doing that. I know we had a situation a couple years ago where we were supposed to have a student center, an actual student center.
Right.
I would expedite that immediately because it there needs to be a space in which students are able to gather and fellowship with one another. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things that we don't have is a space to be able to commute and work with and cooperate with in a centralized area. We have the quad, but there's nowhere to sit.
Right.
Every time we get any kind of seating, something happens into to which we it's taken away. Hurricane, people not actually, you know, taking care of the things that the university's given us, which is one of the other things that I feel like, we need to make sure that we emphasize is that as students, we also have an obligation to maintain our university, and I think that that's something that we need to emphasize a little bit more. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I would expedite infrastructure, fix up housing issues, and maybe even work on some of the contracts we have with maintenance and this, that, and the third. Because I feel like a lot of the things that we complain about or we won't fix is above students and is something that obviously the board of trustees and those administrators and executives would have to handle.
So that's good to know. That is something that I believe we need to amplify with the institution, that there are issues with maintenance, is what I'm hearing. And
Yes.
can you give me an example?
Kaden.
I can give you a few. So one of the biggest things that they're slowly trying to mend is the maintenance request situation. So there's a
Okay.
way that you can request, if your toilet's flooded or if your door's broken or anything like that, you can scan a QR code and you'll be placed basically in a queue of maintenance requests. Well, we only have but so many maintenance personnel on campus with
Right.
over 3,000 students.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a few on campus that are able to actually execute jobs when it comes to maintenance and you have 3,000 students, it don't really equate. It's a very hard job when there's not many people to assist in that job. um, when it comes to um, mold or anything like that, and I'm not saying that that's one of the biggest issues, because I feel like that's definitely dimmed down and has been taken control of quite a bit.
Good.
But it's just that the communication between us as students and maintenance. So the only thing we can really do is scan a QR code and put a maintenance request in, and however long it takes,
Yeah. Just wait.
it basically shows you how many people we have on campus that
Yeah.
are working on things. So
All right. That makes sense. I'm gonna play devil's advocate about that. But this is not a problem that you all have to deal with. But obviously, with budget cuts, and we know that the school has cut budget, it seems like every year for the last several years. Some areas, you're going to lose capacity, right? And I think that is what is happening now with certain departments of the school, is where you just don't have the bodies to match it. So hopefully, with this new administration in place, and with increased enrollment, which has happened this year, was a huge increase. I believe they're on pace for another record year next year. All those things help because they bring in income, and then you can hire more help, you can hire more people. So that's just one of those things to keep in mind when things aren't quite going right. I just don't think there's enough bodies there to handle all of the requests. Ben, your thoughts, man. One thing you can change.
So if I had the power to address anything, it'd be the retention rate. Because although we're bringing in these students, how are we retaining them? How are we keeping them? Too often, a lot of our freshman students end up leaving their second semester here because of, like Sagal said, the culture or the living environments, living conditions, or anything of that sort. How are we going to address this issue? Because um, I feel that's the biggest issue as of right now, is how we're retaining our students, how we're going to keep them here, how we're going to keep them actively involved in what we're doing on campus.
Yeah.
Our freshman class this year was about 1,400 people. The second semester, that number dwindled down. And it doesn't just go for our freshman students, but it also goes to our upperclassmen, because they also end up leaving at some point in time. So how are we going to retain them? How are we just going to keep them here? I know we have the programs such as first year experience, but that's not enough. We need to do more with that.
Yeah, I think we had Billy DeJuiced on a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about retention, and which is an issue. I think it's improved, but I do think it's still a problem. And retention is kind of one of those things where it stems from probably cost, right? And then student experience second, and then maybe no disrespect, maybe the student was just BSing the whole first semester. Their parents said, "Hey, all right, let's go." So number of things there that can happen with any of the kids. I just think, first of all, I'm glad y'all are still here. I'm glad, Sagal, you done made it to your junior year. The junior year is the worst year, because that's the year where you're like, oh my gosh, when am I getting out of here? When is this over? Right? And y'all have that on top of all of the stuff, the external issues. And then, when you're a freshman, you feeling good. It's your first year on campus, right? Things are kind of, it's all new. And then you get to that
Right.
sophomore year, and you know your way around, and it's like, all right. And then that sophomore year is when you kind of, you're comfortable, know your way around. And then the senior year, you trying to run up out that thing, man, So you guys, again, continue, guys and gals, excuse me, continue to be a beacon of light and hope for all of us alumni. We are actively fighting for you all. And I know sometimes we may come off as old grumps and back in my day and all of this stuff. Just know it comes from a place of love. We love the institution. A lot of us, some of the fights that y'all have been fighting for the last couple years, we've been fighting for a decade. You know what I'm saying? So the fight to us isn't new. The fight to us isn't anything fresh. It's just a new version of it. And y'all are in this phase of it. And it wasn't always like this. Pre 2013 ish. Before that, the school, when I tell y'all, I wish y'all could have been on campus of Bethune-Cookman in 2010, 2011, 2012. The place was magic. I mean, the place was magic. And then you can even go back to the late 90s, the early 2000s. The campus was just such a different vibe than what it is now. But you guys still have the ability to bring back the magic in a whole different vibe. Like, y'all got so much more things going on for y'all than we did. They got the technology. Y'all can connect with each other like way better than we could. And so, listen, I want to thank y'all. I don't want to hold y'all. Y'all got homework, and y'all have y'all finished y'all homework?
Yeah, I finished that essay.
All right,
I'm in the midst of writing a 5-pager, so.
Sagal, all right. That's Sagal's subtle way of saying, okay, Steve, stop talking so I can go and do my paper. I get it. Listen, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I will let y'all go. Let your friends on campus know about us. Have them come watch it. Make sure they following the AV. Again, if y'all need anything from me, the platform, from alumni, y'all have my info. Y'all know we've been talking all week. Y'all got me now. I'm here. I got y'all back. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank you for
y'all.
having us.
Listen, I love y'all. Hail Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats.
All right. Peace,
Hail
y'all.
Wildcats.
All right. Ain't they just wonderful? Man, those are some good kids. And this is why we do what we do. This is why. Because, like, those kids deserve a great experience. I'm not gonna lie. I had a great experience. So I feel terrible that they had to go through what they have been going through. 7 presidents in 10 years, budget cuts, poor maintenance on campus, hurricanes, like low faculty, demoralized faculty. Like, they have had to deal with it all. And I'm just happy that it seems like we're getting to a point where they can start to enjoy their time on campus. Sagal, she just won SGA President, and I go and follow them, and I check them out on Instagram. I mean, these are some bright kids. Like, we really do have some bright kids at the school, and we got to have their back. Plain and simple. We got to have their back. So if y'all have enjoyed that, man, listen, make sure you guys find those kids. If you need to, send them a love offering. I told them after the show I'm gonna shoot them a couple $. Listen, and let's do that. If you guys tonight, if you want to contribute to the AV, I will make sure they get whatever we contribute. It'll go to the kids. It'll go to those 3, and I'll make sure to get it to them because they deserve it. They all doing their thing. Mr. Freshman, he ain't been there a year, and he out there leading protests. You know what I'm saying? And Cayden, he be on the scene. He was laughing, but I'm telling you, every time I turn on my Instagram, he doing something on the scene, on the yard somewhere. And then Sagal, she just seems like she's gonna be a great addition to the leadership. Hopefully, she can work well with the president once he gets back in place. Once she gets in place, I don't know if it's gonna be he or she. So yeah. I thank y'all. I want to touch back on one thing before I go, because I was kind of trying to load them in when I was talking about the t-shirt. the I Love You tee. This is, well, excuse me, the I Leave You Love tee. This is, again, one of the things we've got coming down the chute now. The shirt is available. I think I have the link up top. I'm going to also leave this in the chat, and you guys can go in there and get the shirt. I think it's $35, something like that. Again, portion goes to the institution. And the other portion goes directly to the ALV. If you guys want to purchase it, there it is. It's a dope shirt. Again, I'm modeling. I got the hoodie on, but the hoodies, won't be available until the fall because ain't nobody wearing a hoodie in July and August and June. We about to be taking clothes off, not putting them on. You know what I'm saying? So next week, I spoke with John Crossman, and I think we're going to confirm him next week. So we'll get an official presidential update, search update with Mr. Crossman, and I think that'll be good. And we may also have another special guest, and we may have 2 guests next week, so that'll be kind of cool. But I will confirm it all and give you all the deets as the time comes. And you know what? I actually think that's good. We're done before 8. We didn't have any drop season tonight. I told y'all I figured out my internet. I had the guy come out here. He rewired me, and I'm good now. So listen, man, we off to the races now. Listen, y'all have fun. Easter weekend. I hope y'all go to church or do whatever you do. Easter egg hunt. Go to breakfast. Go to brunch. All that stuff. And we'll catch y'all next week for another episode of The Real. I'm your host, Steve Holmes. Hail Wildcats. Peace.